in this particular group. Okay, so for the first group, Scorpio, you're dealing with some conflict. There is some conflict between, we don't know, it's either in your own internal conflict, you've got some decisions you need to make, you've got some choices, some options ahead of you. I think that you don't really know which way to go, so you're just doing some tossing and turning, some fighting, possibly staying up at night, possibly overindulging, or just trying to like self-medicate, or you're having actual verbal confrontation and conflict with someone in your life. And it gets pretty heated, I think. It gets pretty active. So just be careful. And one of the things that I want to advise to you guys, well, anyways, I'll give you the advice at the end. But this is this energy here. Conflict. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Okay, see you guys later. Bye. I don't like this combination because I feel like, obviously, if there is a skirmish, confrontations, conflict, all that stuff, it's going to end to fucking 911. What is your emergency? I'm not even joking. It's going to get to a point, especially if this is a love relationship and you're living with this person, it could become like a domestic thing. Like a domestic 911, what is your emergency thing? So be aware that all this conflict, and here's the thing, I'm not saying that other person is innocent. I'm not saying that you're innocent. It takes two people. So if you and this person keep going back and forth, at some point, one of you has to be the fucking adult and be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm not having these conversations anymore. Let me take a breather and I'm going to come back to you with a game plan of what I want to do or what has to be done. Because it's going to lead here. End of story. It's just going to lead here to where this conflict leads to a major split. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be you and a friend, you and a coworker, you and a boss, you and a circle of work colleagues, whatever. You and a band if you're in a band. And it's taken a while for each of these wands to come together, the 5. So now that you had your chance at wand number 2 to make a decision, to end something, to pull away from something, to make a personal decision based on like the integrity that you still had intact. By the time you get to the 3rd wand, the 4th wand, and now the 5th wand, you're fucking drowning. Okay? So you're probably in a position right now where you're like, I don't know what to do. So now I'm backed into a corner. So now here comes my stinger because I don't know what to do because I'm a Scorpio. And I try to be cool 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And don't leave in the comments either, like, someone did this to me. Someone did this to me. You fucking did it to yourself. Don't try me. We all have free will. You saw this conflict coming. You knew it wasn't going to end well. And now here we are. So if you put in the comments, somebody tried me and that's what they got. They got my stinger. Get the fuck out of here. They got my stinger. You wouldn't have to use that stinger if you didn't put yourself in that corner. Someone certainly left a door ajar somewhere and you could have, left. But you stayed and now you're here for the conflict and now you have to finish it. And it's not even going to be you finishing it. This is a major card. These minor cards, this is when you still have free will to make moves. When the major cards come in, you're done. The major cards are like, all right, have a seat on the bench. We're going to take care of it now. Because you guys couldn't be adult enough to fix the situation. So you have a seat on the bench. We're going to come in now. And it's the universe talking, by the way. Do you see how I just got agitated, you guys? I got agitated because of these 2 cards here. Picking up on these energies. So, yeah, that's that. And that's my Drunk Tarot Tough Love. Trying to tell you guys a story about how conflicts, this is when keeping it real goes wrong. Do you guys remember that Dave Chappelle thing? When keeping it real goes wrong. Let go of the ego, you guys. You don't have to win every single argument. You don't have to win every single argument. And when you go away from that person, that scenario, and that person's like, and then people are like, well, this, that, and that. And then you go, but I didn't, they did. Shut up. Shut up. Be an adult. Zip up that ego and just be like, well, it is what it is. How about that? Try that phrase. People say people overuse that phrase. I say in this situation, that phrase couldn't be more perfect-er. Perfect-er. It is what it is. Now you've got the Hangman in reverse. So this is good. This is good. After the Tower comes down, the Hangman in reverse is saying, okay, you give up. You have decided to pull away a little bit and just do some heavy-duty thinking about where you are in the scenario, who you are in the scenario, what happens next in the scenario, okay? You have arrived in some sort of way to where you're enlightened now. You had your Oprah aha moment. Now you're looking up and you're like, okay, I get it. I get it now. I get it now. This card right here is telling me that you need to be grateful in this moment, because I think that something major does happen for this particular group of Scorpios for the month of October. This is where you say, thank you for the pain. It's helped me level up my game. That's what this combo is saying. So you're enlightened now. Okay, great. Great. Good. We're finally there. But it is going to take, I mean, this is just a 3-card pull for you, this particular group in October. So it is going to take a bit of conflict to get there. It is going to take, unfortunately, it is going to take something major happening. I don't know what that is. And I'm not trying to scare you or any of that. And it's not going to be something as, dramatic as the image says. But something is going to happen that's going to give you major pause for thought. And this is like I'm being like a negative Nancy. This is the negative side of it. The positive side is that maybe you were fighting with someone for a long time, and you're thinking it's over. And boom, they're like, you know what? You're right. And you're like, wait, say that again? And they're like, you're right. Whoa, you agree with me? Yes, you're right. And you're like, damn, I never thought I was going to ever hear that. Because someone else has become enlightened. Okay, some of you guys are not listening to your subconscious. Some of you guys know, some of you guys are caving into some superficial wants and desires of someone else. I think that you know that life is deeper and better when you deal with the realness, authenticity, genuine connections. But I think occasionally, like all of us, because we're only human, we can definitely dive into some superficiality. Is that a fucking word? Superficiality? Yeah, it is. Superficiality. And right now you're doing that. Some of you guys, this particular group, you're actually ignoring some very important things, and you're catering and indulging in some superficial behavior. Some of you guys could also just be ignoring your own personal instinct. You're ignoring what your gut is telling you to do in a situation. We'll find out what that is. Oh, damn. Okay. So remember when I said some of the storylines cross over? So this is a particular storyline that might be crossing over, but this is still for this particular group. A conflict, an ongoing conflict that you've been having with possibly another water sign, possibly, doesn't have to be. That conflict is over. You're allowing that conflict to be over. I do think it's personal conflict too. You've stopped mulling over something. You've stopped worrying about something. You've stopped, having these conflicting ideas. You're going to make a decision about something, and it's not going to be a decision that you actually want to make. Sorry, let me take that back. It's not going to be a decision that you were like, this is the right thing to do. This is the other thing to do. You're going to do the other thing to end this conflict. Does that make sense? I'm just going to keep going. There's a major delay in communication or travel or something in October. You were hoping that something was going to move forward. There were a lot of opposing views about how something should move forward. And so in October, this is going to be majorly delayed because I think you are holding up the process. You're holding up the process, and definitely there's a right thing to do, and the thing that you're going to do to speed the process up, you're doing the thing that just speeds the process up, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. You just want to get something done. So you're not listening to your intuition, because you want the fighting to be over with. So you're just going to be like, fuck it, and you're just going to do something. Because the right, good, moral, ethical resolution is not happening fast enough. So you're just going to do the other thing that goes against who you are truly, just so that you can end the conflict and turn this into right side up. Because right now it's delayed. Lots of communication. Now, if you're traveling in October, it could just be a delay in travel. It just could be like you were supposed to take the 10 p.m. flight, but instead you're taking the 9 p.m. flight, and because you took the 9 p.m. flight, the 9 p.m. flight got delayed, and now you're going to be like, well, now I'm on the fucking 1 a.m. flight. So it's just like things like that for this particular group. So just delays. There's delays. There's annoyances, but the conflict is over. And then there's delays for this particular group B, group 2, group B. Let's move it to storyline 3. And then I'll get to the love reading at the very end of this, you guys. Sorry I got fired up at that first reading. That was so unlike me. I'm usually very tame and very calm in these readings. So I don't know why I was so amped up. Very bizarre. Group C. All right, you guys are moving on. You guys are moving on. You've had enough of a situation. The positive way to read this card is that you guys are taking a trip with your family. But let me ask you something. I don't know why readers say that that's some of you guys are taking a trip with your family. And it's like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because someone looks bummed the fuck out. They do not look like they're going to Disneyland. So I do think that you guys are moving on. You're pulling up stakes. You've given up on a situation, and you're moving away. Obviously, the picture is pretty, it's pretty obvious, the picture. You're moving from rough waters to calm waters, but we don't know if the waters are calm. We don't know if it's better over there. It doesn't look lush and green in the distance. In the distance, it looks gray. Some of you guys have finally come to terms with a mental situation. You've come to terms with something mentally, sorry. And I always say that because it's recovering your heart and your emotions, for me, in my opinion, is much easier than recovering the mental state. Because even after your heart is healed, even after you've been disappointed emotionally, even after all that happens and a breakup happens or whatever, you still have your mind. You still have your logical side. You still have your subconscious, your dreams, your mental state. You still have to tend to that and reinforce that. Those are still things that you need to work on, even after the emotional disappointment and heartache. So for me, by the time you get to mentally moving on from something, it's done deal. That's a wrap. And so I think that if you've already moved on with the idea that, like, where you're going to be pentacle wise, where are you going to be cup wise, and you get to the swords, and the swords are like, it's time to move on, I think that's a wrap. So if you're leaving anyone or anything, or a job, person, place, thing, whatever behind, you've already mentally come up with your contract in your mind that this is what you're doing. And so once you get to here, I feel like you're moving on. This particular group of Scorpio, you're moving forward, you're moving on. You've accepted the loss, you've accepted the terms of this movement forward, and you're doing so. You're not doing it with, high energy. It's something that you kind of have to do. So if someone's looking at you like, it's like you don't even care, it's like, I do care. I did care. I can't afford, I don't have the energy to care. All I have the energy to do now is to fucking fill up a gas tank and leave. That's all I have the energy for right now. And so that's what you guys are doing, this particular group. It is the end of a major cycle, the world card here. So it is with heavy heart that you walk away from a situation because the cycle is over. You've done the thinking, you've done the heavy lifting, you've done the heavy thinking. You know exactly what the pros and cons are of staying or leaving. You've weighed everything out. And now that you've made the decision to mentally move forward, the world card is saying, good job, dude. The world card is saying, hey, champ, you did it. You did it, champ. You learned your lesson. You did what you had to do. You fought a good fight. Good job, champ. Now it's time to move on. The world card is not reverse. It's right side up. It means the absolute end of a major karmic lesson, karmic cycle, karmic relationship, karmic bond. And in the upright, positive note, it means that it's the beginning of something brand new for you. So you can get excited about that. As a Scorpio, this is your energy. I think that, it is all this movement forward, this change, this major shift, this transformation. It's all affecting you in an emotional way, but you're leading with your mental acumen. You're leading with your mental agility, and you're already mapping out like chess. You're already mapping out the next moves you have to make. Even though internally, emotionally, you're completely, unbalanced. It doesn't feel good. You're not happy about it. But you need to be mentally strong, and that's what you intend to do. And this is a good thing. It's a sad thing that you have to move on. It's a sad thing that you're sad. But this card is saying it is the end. And, as human beings, we don't like the end of things. We don't like when the credits roll on a good movie. We don't like the end. No one likes the end. But you need to embrace it. You need to lean into it, and you need to move forward because something great is waiting for you. And it is a karmic bond, a karmic cycle that is restarting or, starting anew. A new karmic bond is starting for you. So these things, they will go away. This emotional imbalance, this sadness of leaving, it's all transformative. It's all going to leave. And you have this to look forward to. Okay?